Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the second session of Students Climate Action Conference. And today, I think I'll give you a glimpse of what climate change is and what you are required to do as our students, what you have to do in this conference, what I'll be giving you task also, different task I would be giving you. So first task, that is reporting one, which I will be posting in groups for all of you. So I welcome all schools, students, the coordinating teachers who are helping us in putting everything together. So thank you for joining us. The goal of Students Climate Action Conference was to bring together students from different schools of India and South Asia to discuss important problems people are facing regarding the environmental issues at their respective states and countries. So, despite the harsh reality of climate change across the world, there is always so much to be done. And many inspiring people are here. You can learn from the students. Last year's, we have 6 states, and those states, students are there. They are the winners of last year. They will be discussing and they will be talking to you. So, I think by taking great care of present, movement, and we can create a regenerative future for the planet. So for the protection of planets, we are here. In recent years, the impact of climate change has been evident across the world. We have witnessed severe flooding, unprecedented heat waves, and accelerated biodiversity loss across the continent. At the Climate Project Foundation, we believe understanding these issues is essential for building a resilient future. In this conference, we will be discussing most common climate change impacts in India and South Asia via our students and highlighting some key factors to consider. So I will just show you a small presentation which will highlight and which I'll try to explain little bit, not I'll just touch the surface of climate change. So allow me to share my presentation. So there will be sound also if you will be able to listen to the sound. So I think we'll start with the song. So this is one song for you.
सोचो तो क्यों है आज सहमा सहमा पानी ये चुपचाप पानी क्यों चलो बदल दे ये कहानी कहानी बचा ले निशानी हम पूछेगी धरती तब कहा थे तुम नदी रो रही थी तब कहा थे तुम स्वच्छता और पानी हमको बचानी है ये जिंदगानी है कब से नाराज गुस्सा गुस्सा पानी ये क्यों उदास पानी क्यों चलो बदल दे ये कहानी कहानी बचा ले निशानी हम पूछेगी धरती तब कहा थे तुम नदी रो रही थी तब कहा थे तुम स्वच्छता और पानी
So I think we are all answerable to this pani. And that's why we have started this climate conference to understand better what climate change is. So, what is basically climate change? Basically, it refers to the long term shift in temperature and weather pattern. And by human activity, by everything we are doing, I think we are 1.4 billion population. So, we require resources to I'm talking about India, but in the world, I think we are increasing in number, and but resources are depleting everywhere. In South Asia and India, we are, I think, quickly. There are threat to our environment. There is threat to our forest, and forests are the one which are the one giving us oxygen. So what are we doing if we are not understanding what climate change is? So just a video to understand what climate change is.
Everyone's talking about climate change. But what is our climate? And why is it changing? Our climate is the Earth's normal weather over a very long time. It usually takes hundreds or thousands of years for the climate to change. But recently, our climate has been changing much faster. All these changes make life harder for our plants, animals, and for people around the world. And the biggest cause of climate change is humans, including you and me. When we use fuel like oil and gasoline, or remove forests to make room for cities or farms, we release greenhouse gases into our atmosphere. These greenhouse gases cause our climate to get warmer. Normally, when the heat from the sun warms our planet, some of the heat reflects back into space. But greenhouse gases act like a big blanket, holding some of it in. This extra heat can cause all sorts of problems for our planet, and the plants, animals, and people who live here. Our ice and snow are melting faster. Our oceans are getting warmer and higher, and our weather is becoming more extreme, with more heat waves, heavy rainfalls, and powerful hurricanes. Luckily, many countries around the world are working together to fight climate change. And there are lots of easy ways you and I can help too, like reusing things instead of throwing them out. Instead of driving, ride your bike or take the bus. Use less electricity and eat food grown closer to home. You and I, we can make a difference. We can fight climate change.
So I think we can all fight climate change. So what are the basic causes of climate change? So it's important to address climate change. So climate is directly contributing to the humanitarian emergencies from heat wave, wildfire, flood, tropical storms, hurricanes, and they are increasing in scale and frequency and even intensity. And our wildlife is at threat. Our forests are at threat. Our water is at threat. So if you're getting water at home, you open your tap and you are getting water, you are the luckiest one, because I think 50% of in India don't get piped water. So you have to find out from where the water is coming. Check the water resources of your state, your country. Are they okay? Are they growing, and are they clean? You have to visit once to check that. See from where you are getting that good oxygen. Are the forests safe in your state, in your country? So you have to check that. So these are the responsibilities of the students, those who have joined us. So what's the role of individual? As an individual, how can you play a role? As a community, because when you are living somewhere, you have the neighboring community, which together, I think you celebrate festivals with them, maybe a family friend, maybe your friends, and you celebrate so many things. Why don't you celebrate some climate change movements with them? Same climate action with the community. So maybe you can engage your local community, indigenous people in climate action. That involves recognition, and also you will integrate or you will pass on the knowledge, expertise, practices, and you can rightly come into when a group of people join in, individual when start doing something, that is ignored. But when a whole number of people start joining in into your initiative, that is acknowledged. That plays a crucial role in sustainable development and climate resilience. So I would request all the students, those who are in, should start one action in their community. So we will have some reporting also to be done. So here again, one video for you to understand it better. I can go on and on, but with the video, I think you understand better.
We all deserve to live in a world where flora and fauna of every shape and hue are given the conditions to survive and thrive. It's possible to reverse the effects of climate change, which threaten all life on Earth. And we all have a role to play in helping the UN achieve this goal by 2030. Our world is a beautiful place. It is home to countless life forms, from the mammals of Antarctica and the fish of the Gold Coast Coral Reef to us, in our stunning cities. But it can be a harsh environment too. Life on Earth has always been at the mercy of the elements. Natural disasters like floods can wash away whole ecosystems. Forest fires lay waste swaths of land. Hurricanes and earthquakes level settlements and make living incredibly precarious. These natural processes have created and shaped the land for millennia. But studies show that rising temperatures in Earth's atmosphere are making natural disasters like these much more frequent and more severe. Global warming is a man-made modern phenomenon. It began with the Industrial Revolution. New machines automated tasks and helped business owners make lots of money. But because they relied on the burning of fossil fuels to function, factories dotted throughout the land churned out clouds of poisonous gases and changed the delicate balance of Earth's atmosphere. Since then, climate change has been exacerbated by a growing global population. Global warming is now at crisis levels. In China, the air can be so toxic that sometimes citizens wear face masks. And in the Arctic, the ice caps are melting, making it impossible for wildlife to survive. But eco-heroes everywhere are taking action against climate change. In the US, car manufacturer General Motors is working in partnership with the government to tackle climate change. It was one of the first signatories of the American Business Act on Climate Pledge and is investing heavily in electrification, thereby helping to cut down on greenhouse gas emissions. Architects around the world are creating eco-friendly houses and reducing their carbon footprint by replacing harmful concrete with natural materials like mud bricks and recycled shipping containers. And in Vancouver, school children are working with the city's urban forestry program to offset the effects of deforestation by planting lots of new trees in their neighborhoods, which consume dangerous carbon dioxide and produce healthy oxygen. Together, we can create a safe, resilient, and sustainable future for everyone.
So I think together we have to work. So there are some examples of positive impact also in if small actions can bring. So you can create a better place for everyone. I think you are the future generation. So for that future generation, maybe you can take plantation in your nearby area. Here in Delhi, I am here sitting in Delhi. They have taken the metro pillars. Underneath the metro pillar, there was some space. So some of the schools children have taken, or the schools have adopted that area, and then making it green. They have put like plants or trees, which need only 3 years of. Initially, the trees need 3 years of water. Later on, they drive water on their own. They are self-sustaining. So that kind of thing you can do, maybe an area which you have. So that, and plus, you can also, I think, by turning to solar, this is, I think, we are a country where we have a lot of solar energy. We can tap that and use it. So in your community, maybe you can take up that as an initiative. You can protect the nature, wildlife, and open spaces, or clean a water body, or have a water body in your school by phytoremediation. That is a process which can convert your gray water, which is coming from the toilets, into the clean water. And then you can make a pond-like system for all the wildlife to thrive. That is also an example which you can do. So what you have to do for that, this, I would say, competition, or you can say a conference. This is also a competition as well. You have to select per school 2 problems. Each school will select 2 problems created by climate change in your area, in your state, or in your country. You have to look around. What is the problem created by climate change? As I see here in Delhi, their temperatures are increasing. So usually we used to have 5 months of winter. Now we have left with, I think, 1.5 month of winter. Half month of December we have winters, and January. Later on, it has become so hot, the temperatures, and plus rainfall has become high. So this is one climate change factor in my area, my state. which is happening. So you think of, you start doing that work. I'll be sending you reporting the moment we just close this session. And we have the students will be sharing you what kind of problems they share from their states. And then you have to suggest two solution to those problems. So that's your task. Okay, what do you have to do? Maybe you can take a interview with your family members, granddad, grandmom, great granddad if you have, or great grandmom, because they knew at that time how the temperature was and they have seen the changes. Maybe you can record their interview in their native language and put a translation to it, and more about these video, how you have to click. We will be talking in our next session, that is on 30th August. We have our uh, in our team which is working on that. They usually make the technical team. They are the technical team, and in charge of the technical team would be talking to you, both of them. They know how to create video, what app to use, how to cut it, how to edit it. So my next session would be that. I'm just telling you how you have to capture it. So take an interview of your neighbor or your community, let them wear their traditional clothes because that would give you a pep up in your video, and that shows your state also while you are shooting them. Maybe your parent also can join in, maybe your community leader can join in, or you can interview a farmer, how they, because first thing visible of climate change is on crops. So once you go to a farmer and ask them, they are directly affected by climate change. They are changing the crop pattern also. If they are growing apples, so they change it. If they are in Kashmir, they were growing saffron, so they have changed it to apples, because that is not giving them any result. Saffron is it takes lot of time to grow, but they have changed it. So similarly, when you go to somewhere, some state, you will see the change in pattern of growing crops also with the farmers. So you have to ask them, do they actually know it's because of climate change? I am sure they don't know, but they know there is something happening. What happening that they are not or not. Maybe you can give them a solution also, ask them, and take their video bites and take their video shots. And what you have to do again, another thing, you can go to a scientist, ask them, take their interview. If you can approach them, or your MLA of your area, ask them what is happening. Do you hear something like this? Maybe a journalist also you can get in. So anybody who knows about climate change, anybody who don't know about climate change also should be there in your video once you are capturing that. And actual scene you have to go, that becomes very empowering. So you can see the YouTube videos of our students, those who have last year, they have posted. We have posted them online also. Even the session also is online. Now, once you have got the idea, now you should get ready with your phone or your camera or your whatever device you are using. But it should be video. So maybe for report one, you have to complete and send me in by 27th of August. You have to record your observation, what you are going to work on, what are the conclusions would be drawn for that. And you can place interviews, like you can make a map like thing and send it to me. So for that reporting, I will be sending you with the questionnaires which you have to fill and send me by 27th of August. So you have to look for the problem of climate change in your area, choose a script, use a very good smartphone or a camera, look for lighting positions, make a storyboard, and edit the video which you have taken. So you plan your story like this: scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, short, how many you have to take, and then write what you will be asking them and what they will be answering. So that's how you create your storyboard. This is like planning your story. Scene 1, action, what would be the voiceover, how you take it. This is rough thing which I have just given you. So all the best, and keep your doubts ready for all our team which is joined us. So I'll be calling first team. So I think this has been just a snapshot of climate change impact and what is projected in the future. As climate risk continues to escalate, it is critical for both of us to, I think all of us, to address the root cause of climate change and to mitigate its effect. Last year, we had a group of students with us today from states of India, Kashmir, Delhi, Odisha, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, Maharashtra, and even Nepal also we had. It was tough for all of them, teachers, and we used to have sessions, and it was very difficult for them joining us because last year we had sessions every week. So we had a lot of sessions. 2 months we grilled them with sessions, explaining them what to do, what is climate change. So with extra things coming with your examination and syllabus, it was difficult for them to come again and report thrice. So this time we thought we took some lessons from last year, and we have reduced the reporting from 3 reportings to only 2 reportings. The first reporting you have to submit me by 27th, in 7 days, on outline of what you are working on. So I think all the climate leaders, those who have gone last year, so kudos to them, all the climate warriors. I welcome them. So they were asked later to make a 6 minute video on climate challenges they face in their country, and we have reduced them to 3 minutes. But this time now you have to submit 3 minutes only. So those group of students took extra efforts in creating the videos. And today we have those team with us, and I welcome the team of previous years with us, and they'll be sharing their experience with us today. Each group keep their presentation ready, and student, please, all of you, they'll be asking questions also. All those who are watching us, you can ask the questions in chat, and they'll be answering, or if not, I'll be taking the questions. You can visit our YouTube handles, check the videos submitted by our winners of last year. So now I invite our first team, that is the team Odisha, to give us their insight about what their learnings were, how they got the interaction with us, what their learning was in 2024. So over to team Odisha. Can you share your videos or a PPT presentation, or if you are not able to, then I will share. Team Odisha is here. Okay, Team Odisha is out there. Wait a minute. Let me. You won't be able to. Team Odisha is here? No. Okay. So let me invite our next team, that is Team Kashmir. Can you please share your presentation and start?
Yes, ma'am.
Mohit, can you start, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you share the presentation?
Ma'am, only the host can share in this meeting. So can you open it for me?
Wait a minute. I'll just give you the permission. Can you share it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do it. Hashim, can you share? Okay, I will share your videos. Wait. Can you say about it? Just let me know what to do. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. So to the NIV team, first of all, I'm thankful to Rekha ma'am for giving me this opportunity to speak. I am thankful to Mr. Adil sir. It's all because of him. He showed me the path. And without Rekha ma'am, it was not possible for me to do it, as she was the backbone of the climate students there. And it was all because of her unwavering support that I have come so far. So, to the NIV students, I'm Mohitun and I'm from Jammu and Kashmir, and I'm the previous climate leader. Now, I will be sharing. Ma'am, can you swipe it? Can you come to second page, please?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so this is my introduction. I am Mohitun Nisa, a class 10 student at Muslim Educational Institute, and I joined this conference with Farheen ma'am. She was my coordinator teacher. And under this climate reality project, I joined it in 2024 with the support of Adil sir. Rekha ma'am guided us throughout, and she made us understand the tasks and how to approach them. And first, we had to address two temperature related problems in our area. Then, with the help of my coordinator teacher, we visited the affected areas and we spoke with the locals and identified the local issues. And our assignment was to find two pressing environmental problems in our locality. Then we engaged with the community. We spoke with the people from nearby localities, and we made them understand also that how these issues are not only affecting them, they are also affecting us. Then we analyzed the situation and we finded solutions. After identifying these root causes, we brainstormed sustainability and practical solutions. Ma'am, can you go to the next page? The first problem that I took was of Dal Lake, because it is the famous lake of Jammu and Kashmir. And once upon a time, this Dal Lake was so pious, it was in its purest form that its water could be drunk by the people. But right now, because of the bad condition of climate change and the way people polluted it, you cannot even touch it because there are so many things that happened and people just misused it. You can see once upon a time over it spanned over 22 square kilometers, and now it has shrunk 18 square kilometer. And it's a big thing for people living in Kashmir, because not only you can see climate is affecting you people in Odisha, Assam, but in Kashmir it is known as valley of paradise. But these things are taken these things should be taken in consideration. You can see how beautiful it looks, but now right now it is in the worst condition. And the situation, if not taken in serious, it can go even more worst. Ma'am, can you shift? Yes. So, how you can, I have just added a slide for you people, for the new students, so that you can also understand that what we have to do. So, in the first conference that we gave with Rekha ma'am, she assigned us the task of finding two major problems in our area. And I decided to visit the Srinagar's iconic Dal Lake, and it is known for its beauty. But beneath the charm, I discovered the harsh story, because every time when the Kashmir name pops up, we say that it is beautiful, it's beyond limits, it's scenic beauty. But the dark truth and the bitter truth is that it is not so beautiful right now. As I spoke with the locals, especially those who people live in Dal Lake, they live in houseboats. So when I talked with them, when I communicated with them, as we were said to talk to the locals also there. So when I talked with them, they said that they had to remove the curtains, mats of their home because the temperature increases and it becomes harsh for them to survive. Also the tourism sector, when the temperature in Kashmir, it's suitable for everyone and everyone like to come here as it's a cool place. But right now the temperature and the climate is increasing so rapidly that tourists are not even looking at Kashmir right now. The rate at which tourists used to come Kashmir, it has just gone below the level. Right now 10%, 20% foreigners prefer to come to Kashmir because they are not having that temperature that they like to enjoy here. When the temperature in Delhi is 40, 50, and in Kashmir it's also it is also increasing day by day. It is the previous month, it was in June, it was recorded as the hottest month. So why would the person who has same temperature in his area will visit Kashmir, who also is having right now the highest temperature? So these were the problems with Kashmir. Also the aquatic life in Dal Lake, I also figured that problem out. The aquatic life has also been deteriorating, and there are many species of fishes that were like trout fishes. There was a huge population of trout fishes, and people used to eat it because of vitamin D it has. But the oxygen level due to the temperature has been cut off to the fishes, and they are also dying in a huge cases. You can see in the news channels. It is also said that in Dal Lake the aquatic life is facing many problems as they do not get the oxygen supply. So it has become unbearable for everyone, be that the people who are living in Shikara, be that the aquatic life, and even for the tourists. So Kashmir is not only facing problem environmentally, but it is also due to the environment that we are facing economical crisis. So there are many families who once relied on fishing. They used to collect the aquatic plants. Now they struggle to make end meets. Pollution, untreated sewage, and rising water temperatures have all contributed this. So turning what was once a thriving ecosystem into a fragile and struggling one. So not only this, but also the second problem that put forth was of saffron. So saffron, why I chose saffron? Because I belong to a town, Pampur. So Pampur is known as saffron town. So once upon a time, there was a huge cultivation of saffron. And even if people would not, they used to prefer this business of saffron rather than going to jobs, because the crop of saffron is the crop, it is known as cash crop also, because it has more economic value and it is a cash crop. So people used to sow it and cultivate it, as it takes a lot of time to grow saffron and all of those things. Right there, you have to take proper care, like a newborn baby, you have to take care of it. But right now, what the thing happens is 75,000 flowers are used to make a ton of saffron. So just check it out that how many flowers you need for the cultivation. But what the thing happens right now, due to climate change, at the time of cultivation it needs rainy showers, but at the time of sowing it needs rain, and it needs moderate climate. But at the time of harvesting it needs proper sunshine. But what is happening in Kashmir is, at the time when it needs rain, it is not getting that, and at the time of cultivation it does not need rain showers, but rain occurs automatically due to climate change. And all the hard work, efforts, blood and sweat that is put forth by the people of Kashmir in sowing it, that gets weight. So that's why ma'am also said that people are shifting from saffron to apples. So the land under the cultivation of saffron, and the people who survive on this, who were doing business of this, they are not doing this is very a big problem of people of Kashmir after Dal Lake, that the people who were surviving on it, who were earning from it, they are not they are not earning now. And it is the major risk right now of saffron, that from 2030 to 2040, it is said that it would be at the rate of extinction. So the crown of flowers is also degrading, and you can see clearly here. This is the flower, which is known as saffron, and Kashmir is known as the major saffron producing region and the second largest contributor of saffron to the global market. But it is falling from this percentage now, and it is going to the rate of extinction. And the people of Kashmir who were surviving on it and who were earning from it and making their students learn in the schools, it is also creating a big problem for the people living in Kashmir. Ma'am, can you change this? And this is the last note that these two problems were there. Now I will start my video and I will make you a little bit understand that how we did it and how you have to do it. Because in our schools, what the thing is, you are giving a task, but you are not told that step by step task, how you will do it. But luckily, we got Rekha ma'am. Again, thankful to her. She shared with those conferences every week. She used to come from her busy schedule and she used to tell us that what to do and how to do. Under her mentorship, she gave us a proper structure, and under that structure, she told us step by step what you have to do and how could you reach to the level of winning that. So the first was understanding the task. Until and unless you do not know that what you have to do, you could not perform properly. And when you will perform without understanding a task, automatically all your hard work will go waste. So first know that if you are giving a task, if you are given a task by ma'am, first understand that what we have to do in that. Second thing is, when you will understand that, try, you will be given a task by ma'am of finding two problems in your locality. Simple. You have to see first, understand, after understanding you have to go through the problems that are happening in your areas. For me, it was dull and saffron. For people living in different states, it would be different problems. And after those problems, you have to see the people and ask them, talk to them. Maybe your grandparents, you can go and take an interview and tell them, like, in when it was when you were young, what was the temperature there, how you would cultivate crops and all of those things, what were the changes you now see. Because they have an age gap, they have a huge age gap between you, between new generation. So they could tell you that the problems they were facing at that time. And the third is that engaging with the community. When you will go out, talk to the people, they you will also share your ideas, they will also share their ideas with you people. So go and speak with the people that are present in your locality, understand and make them also understand that how climate is affecting our daily lives. And fourth step is analyze and find the solution. In the fourth step, what you have to do, you have found already the root cause, what is the problem. So try to tackle with sustainability and practicality, find the necessary solutions that you can give for that. Like if someone is having lakes and all of those things, and people like industrial areas, the sewage or all of those chemical substances, they go in the water and they create a harsh problem for the aquatic life that are living there. So not only it is affecting us, it is also affecting the aquatic life. So go and identify these things. And at our time, when Hashim and I gave this conference, this was the step that challenged our creativity and that made us believe that we can be the true leaders. Because when the task was given to us, at that time we just tried to submit it. But when we analyzed the situation, when we found the root cause, it was hurting us. We were like, how can we get up and just finish this climate change? So that was the thing that ignited that climate leaderness in ourselves. So the fifth step is simple. You have to create a video. For us it was 6 minutes, and in those 6 minutes we have to cover up, wrap up everything. So for you, it's now scheduled at 3 minutes. So in 3 minutes, find these problems and make a 3 minute video properly. And as we compiled and researched everything, and we edited those interviews and all the researches into a concise and impactful video that created the true essence of our project. So at last, we presented our videos and we submitted it to Rekha ma'am, and we were asked some questions by the jurors. And after answering those questions with confidence and clarity, we were selected as the climate leaders. So I wish you best of luck to every student. If anyone has any question, you can ask me.
So thank you, Mohit, but don't go. And I think there are so many questions in QA and A, and so
Okay.
you keep answering them till Hashim. I will share the PPT of Hashim, and he can answer.
Okay, ma'am. Let me see questions. So first question is by Vani, and it is so by 27th August only the outline needs to be submitted, right? Not the
You
actual
just
video.
answer them. Let Hashim say the about his
Okay,
the
ma'am.
presentation. Yeah, that would be
Okay,
good.
ma'am. I will answer them in chat.
Two things together. Yes, Hashim, you can start your presentation. I'm sharing it. You say it.
Good morning, ma'am. I hope everybody is doing great. Greetings over here, everybody. I am Hashim Nisar, and I hope everybody is doing great in terms of academics and all of these things as well. So, starting off with my introduction, I am Hashim Nisar, a grade 10 student. We were the participants of the last year conference 2024. It was the Climate Leadership Program, Climate Reality Project, and I must say that it was a great experience being a part of this conference last year. And today, being the speaker over here, truly gives me the privilege of being here. And I'm very thankful to Rekha Lala ma'am, who has given us this. We have not been able to meet this year in her last visit, but surely we'll meet very soon. Talking about other things, I work as a director for Climate Leadership Program under the Wildlife Conservation Fund. And this was all about my introduction. Now, ma'am, can you please change the slide? Huh. So, as Mohit has mentioned, that last year we were told that we have to,
Your voice is not there. Hello, Hashim? Hashim? Your voice has gone. Hello, you have network issues? No, your voice is cutting off. I think your voice is not steady. You use your phone then. You use your phone. Why don't you use your phone then and join? Join from phone, then at least you are able to say something. Okay. So till you get your network, let me know. We will start from where we left. Hashim has come back. Hashim, you are there?
am I audible, ma'am?
Yeah, now you are audible. But your voice is breaking.
I'm very apologetic. I'm facing some internet issues.
Okay.
I'm actually
Just
at my
wait,
school
I'll
right
share.
now. We are tied up to our exams.
Yeah. Can you say now?
So continuing, I was saying that about the students' impact, my issue was addressing what students were going through, their academics, and all of that part. Students were facing severe challenges. The reason being, we have recorded some temperatures after 300 years. Like some temperatures that were not existing in Kashmir. Kashmir is known for its moderate temperature, as Mohit has mentioned. And why would somebody like to come to a place where somebody likes to chill out in moderate weather? Why would somebody like to come there if the temperature is altogether the same? Makes sense. So, which is why it is also impacting the people who are ethnic to that place. After those record-breaking temperatures, it was very disheartening to see the change in climate, change in the timings of schools, which had a lot of impact on children because they had to wake up early, and we cannot expect toddlers to wake up so early and to come to school and then face those heat waves into the classroom as well, because we know that the government is providing but not much, as we can see there are not much fans or electricity available in government schools today in today's times as well. So it becomes very challenging for those students to cope up with their academics and all of that part. And about the second problem, it was migratory birds. Kashmir, known for its exquisite wetlands, has a great significance for wetlands as well as migratory birds. Even with the significance of Dal Lake and Saffron, we have four most internationally recognized wetlands, which include Chatlam, Manibuk, Kruchu, and Fashkuri. And in those wetlands, every year, lakhs of migratory birds come from different parts of the world, and they reside over here in the time of winters. Now climate change has affected their pathways. They have not been able to come like they used to. It has impacted their adaptation and their habitat altogether. They are not coming over here as they used to. There has been a very reducing number of their presence over here. Also, my video mentioned that a bird called katij in Kashmir. It was in very abundant numbers in Kashmir. But after the climate change, now we cannot see katijs over here. And now the interview was about birds and students. When we interviewed that old man in the interview, he told us about katijs, how in his times katijs used to be very abundant, and now we do not see them. And it is the reason, it is a trace that we and is alarming for us, that we need to take action now, because if we just start discussing things and talking about those, it's not going to help. It surely will, but not hands on. When we you know try to do hands on practices, then only we can bring a change. And that is what climate action is about. We need to act in order to give a change in the climate. Also, I would like to mention that the video mentions that
Hashim, you are not audible again. Okay, then I'll stop that video and I'll call the next team which is waiting. And I think they were the first team from Odisha. Alok sir, please let the student join in and say about their experiences, what they learned into 2024. Thank you, Hashim. I think you tried your best from school, but now we have the Odisha team. Yes, please continue. You want to share your presentation or should I share?
Yes,
Are you sharing?
would you like to share our presentation? We have
Yeah,
sent.
yeah, I would do it. I'll do it. Pleasure. Just give me 2 minutes. I'll share it. So we have two. One is for Simran and
ma'am, am I audible now?
together one I will share, no? So
Yes.
I'll share the together one. We have got two presentations by you. So I'm sharing the together one. Yeah. Just a minute.
Yes, yes. Good morning, everyone. We are
Yeah.
Glanchipati of Mothers Public School, and this is Simple Ness. Today, we want to take you along our journey of exploring how climate change is silently shaping both agriculture and traditional crafts in India.
Can you be louder because your voice is a little low?
All right, sure.
Okay.
Today, we want to take you along on our journey of exploring how climate change.
Are you starting? Hello, Simran?
Yes, ma'am, it's a
Devanshi? Yeah.
introduction part.
Okay. I'll say the next one. You let me know which slide you want.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. We'll ask you when to change.
Yes, Simran, please start.
Now, two very different words.
Are you starting?
Yes, yes. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, shall we start again? If you say.
Yeah, please do.
Good morning, everyone. We are the Glanchipati of Mothers Public School, and this is Simran. Today, we want to take you along on our journey of exploring how climate change is silently shaping both agriculture and traditional crafts in our country. It may sound like very two different words, farmland and
Your voice is, sorry, overlapping and it is not clear at all. It's not clear at all. Please join, I think, separately. It is not clear at all. Your voice is not clear at all. I think one at a time you have to say. It is not clear. It's not clear. Why don't you join from the link which I have sent you via your email? You have got a link in your email which has been shared with me. Yes, separately. You join via that, then you can come as a panelist. Do you have another computer? Till then you make your arrangements. I will take the next team. Okay. I'll take the next team. So team from Darjeeling. So please introduce yourself and start the experience till the Odisha teams get ready. Darjeeling team is here with us.
Yes, ma'am.
Please start. Beta. You want to share your presentation or you want me to share it?
Ma'am, you can share the presentation.
Just give me 2 minutes. Yes, please start.
Good morning, respected organizers, teachers, and fellow delegates. It is with immense pride and gratitude that we stand before you today as representatives of St. Teresa's Girls Higher Secondary School, Darjeeling, winners of the Climate Conference 2024. This honor is not only a recognition of our efforts, but also a reflection of the values and visions that our school has always nurtured: commitment, responsibilities, and care for the environment. Ma'am, would you please change the slide? Ma'am, the next one. The main objective of participation was to learn more about climate and its impact on Darjeeling, raising public awareness on local climate issues, and engagements of schools and communities in climate crisis discussions. Darjeeling, often called the Queen of Hills, is not only known as its scenic beauties and world famous tea, but also for its fragile environment. Our hills, forests, and tea gardens depend heavily on a balance of climate, but today climate change is threatening this balance. We have already begun to see rising temperatures, erratic rainfall, drying springs, and even landslide. These changes are not just environmental issues, they affect the lives of farmers, tea garden workers, and every family living in the hills. The fragile Himalayan ecosystems Last year, as part of our school's environmental committee, we undertook a project on water scarcity and the problems of tea garden. Living in Darjeeling, surrounded by tea plantations, we witnessed first-hand struggles faced by communities when water becomes scarce. Through research, surveys, and awareness programs, we explored how climate changes and unsustainable practices often affect both land and the lives of the tea garden workers. This project opened our eyes. It made us realize that environmental changes are not just distant global issues, they are realistic and reality in our own neighborhood. More importantly, it showed us that as students, we have a role to play in raising awareness and working toward solutions for the sustainability. At the climate conference, we had the opportunity to share our Green Campus initiatives. We spoke about how, under the guidance of our teachers and with the active participation of students, St. Teresa's Girls has steadily transformed into a campus that breeds sustainability. from waste segregation to waste to water conservation, from tree plantation to energy saving practices. Each initiative has contributed to build a culture of responsibilities within our school communities. In the problems that we could see in the tea gardens were like decline of the quality and the quantity of the tea, rising tea temperature, deforestation, high transpiration levels. Workers were not able to work on the high rising temperatures. There was shortage of workers. Ma'am, next slide. So mm, the problems like what we saw was like the drying up of springs that is the main source of water in Darjeeling. Most of the people have to buy the water 50 rupees per liter during the dry seasons. Students miss their studies to fetch waters. They have to go to some springs to collect water for their households. In the tea garden, the quality decreased, the competition increased with Nepal and the foreign countries, the quality of tea for that. The workers couldn't work due to high temperature. This was the basic problems that we could see in our the basic problems that we could see in our topics. So the actions, school actions that were initiated means firstly we adopted 2 springs in a village called Haridasatta, and we first organized an awareness program with schools and communities. Then we measured the water volumes regularly, means twice in a month. We used to measure the water of the particular 2 springs. And we also did outreach, mass awareness through different schools and engaged the community with us so that the people would get more aware about the crisis that Darjeeling is facing. This was the first awareness that we did in the Haridasata before the measurement. We could see that the people living in that particular village was like more aware by our awareness. We did collaboration with other schools, so the other schools were also putting their efforts to do something for the bad condition of Darjeeling. The climate rise and the climate changes was really is going in a very high way. So other schools were also interested working with us. We also get recognized at the climate conference of 2024, and positive steps were taken in our school for the water conservations. This was the cleanups and the celebrations of Earth Day, doing zero waste practices like organizing zero waste school fates, and we are practicing the ecosystem sustainable habits in our school to make it sustainability for a sustainable development. The students were going to the nearby shops to aware the people about different types of waste and how it should be managed. Giving students the refreshing items, the eco-friendly products, like except for using cold drinks, tetra packet juices, we provide them cucumbers, which were cultivated in our school kitchen garden. The greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it. This line hits so different. Like every time when we are facing the problem, we think that the other person will do it. Why should I have to do it? So when we come with the climate reality project, we always get overwhelmed. Delegates appreciate that a school in the hills of Darjeeling had become a model of practical, everyday climate action. Winning this recognition reaffirmed our belief that even small steps, when taken with sincerity, can lead to meaningful changes. And to my juniors, I would like to say you are inheriting not just a campus, but a mission to keep our earth vibrant and inspiring. Each of you has the power to contribute. You can do it, girls. Everyone can do it if you do it with sincerity. It could be as simple as switching off unused lights at your homes, office, schools, refusing plastics, planting trees, basic things. These are the basic things that we can do. Encourage our peers to live sustainability. Do not underestimate your actions. What seems small today can be the reason for a change tomorrow. So in our school, we continue to shine on platforms across the world, and the award, basically everyone is competing here for the award. They want to win the title, like they are the best schools. They want to win it. But what I want to say, if all the students, please participate with a full heart. The award at the climate conference is not the end of your journey. It's the beginning of a greater responsibility. To, Together, we must ensure that St. Teresa's and all the other schools remain a symbol of how education and environment stewardship goes hand in hand. Education plus environment can always go hand in hand. Most of the people think if we are focusing on education, we should only focus on education. But as students and as our teachers, they always help us to make us understand that environment is equally important as our education. We should be participating both sides. It needs to go hand in hand simultaneously. Like it should be continuous together. We can only focus on environment or we can only focus on education. But in reality, climate reality proves that education and environment can go hand in hand. And every time, the last time when we participated in this conference, we were like very scared what is going to happen, how are we going to make the video, and we were fully stressed. But what I think is that stress needs to be there. You have to get a bit of stress and the joy and every moment that you do when you go to capture the video, when you make your scripts, you learn a lot. And in this climate reality basically taught me how to make anything theoretical plus practical, and then with proofs. Theoretically, when you make the script, practically when you make the when you go and interact with the people, and prove when you make the video. So if you do something, it needs to be done in 3 phases: theoretically, practically, and you have to get the proof what you did. So all to my juniors and all the upcoming candidates who will be competing against each other, just do it with a full heart. Don't stress a lot. Teachers are there to help you, especially Rekha ma'am. At any time we used to text her. She used to be with something new. If we had any queries, we used to text her. She used to help us with something good always. And thank you for welcoming us, recognizing us as the past participants. So lastly, let us always remember the earth is not ours to use as we wish, but it's ours to protect and preserve for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Khushi. Can they see you? Because I think now you stay there and answer the questions, which is
Yes,
there
ma'am.
for you, and Hashim also. And those who have already moved and said something, they were might be asking questions. So you answer there only, so that I think you save me for some my time. Okay, then I move on to the next. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was so great. So next to again Odisha team. Are you ready, beta? Huh?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right, all right. I'm sharing your presentation. Yeah. You can start.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Everyone.
So it is an echo. You have to stop rest of the mics. Only one mic you use and one at a time you speak. Start now.
All right. So is it audible now?
Now you are audible.
All right.
Good morning, everyone. We are Dibyan Pati of Mothers Public School.
And this is Simran Das.
Today, we want to take you along on our journey of exploring how climate change is silently shaping both agriculture and traditional crafts in Odisha. It may sound like two very different worlds, farmlands and handlooms, but when we stepped into them, we realized that they are connected by the same struggle, survival in the face of a changing climate. Last year, as a part of Climate Action Project, we focused on agriculture. Our topic was the impact of climate change on cultivation of pointed gourds or purple. On 20th July, we traveled to Adaspur village on the outskirts of Bhubaneswar and entered the fields where these crops grew. What seemed at first like green, healthy vines actually carried stories of struggle that farmers have been silently facing for years.
As a part of our exploration, we delved into the impact of climate change on cotpad weaving, a centuries old textile tradition from Koraput, Odisha. Despite its GI tag, this heritage craft is fading, threatened by environmental degradation and shifting consumer landscapes. Known for its earthy maroons and browns, cotpad textiles are dyed using extracts from the algae tree and woven with cotton, which is both deeply intertwined with nature and now increasingly vulnerable. To understand this better, we engaged directly with the artisans. One of them, Mr. Narendra Tanti, journeyed to Bhubaneswar to demonstrate the intricate weaving process and share the challenges faced by his community. From him, we learned that cotpad weaving is not just a craft, it's a lifeline, a legacy, and a language of identity. But this legacy is currently under siege.
In Adaspur, we met two farmers, Nirmal Nayak and Mr. Shiv Prasad Jaina, who have been cultivating pointed gourds for decades. They explained to us how erratic rainfall, rising temperatures, and increasing pest attacks are making farming unpredictable. Imagine working hard for months only to lose a quarter of your crops to heat waves. This is exactly what happened to them last summer. Now they depend heavily on boring for underground water, which is costly and unsustainable. And something that shocked us, the natural sweetness of parval has reduced because of overuse of chemical fertilizers. What was once a healthy, tasty vegetable is slowly losing its quality. Would you change the slide, please? The next slide again.
Next one.
Yes.
From Mr. Tanti, we learned that cotpad weaving is equally fragile. The weaving depends on cotton and dyes extracted from the bark of algae tree. Both are extremely sensitive to climate change. Cotton crops suffer from rising temperatures, pests, and diseases, reducing yield and quality. Dyeing process is disrupted by unpredictable rains and extended wet seasons, causing delays and higher costs. Water scarcity hampers yarn washing and dye preparations, threatening production efficiency. This means that weavers are not only losing raw materials, but also their identity and livelihood. Ma'am, can we move on to the next slide?
Right. These visits opened our eyes to how climate change is already reshaping what we eat and what we wear. But we also witnessed resilience and adaptation. Some farmers in Adaspur are now trying innovative methods. Instead of growing parval in traditional beds, they are now using poles and nets, which provide better yield and protect the crops from pests. They also shift their working hours to the early mornings, avoiding the harsh afternoon sun. Small steps, but very big impacts.
Yet, the weavers are not also giving up. They're adopting, experimenting with diversified designs, alternative yarns, drought resistant cotton, and even venturing into digital marketplaces. These may seem like small steps, but for a community rooted in centuries of traditions, they are act of quiet courage. Ma'am, next slide, please.
From the farmers, one lesson became very clear. We must urgently promote organic farming practices. Techniques like using bioenzymes, composting, and regular soil testing can restore the health of the land and bring back the true taste and nutrition of our food. Climate change has already forced them to change their methods. Now, we must support them with sustainable solutions.
From Mr. Tanti and others, we learned a deeper truth. Sustainability is not just ecological, it's cultural. Preserving cord part weaving means protecting the environment that nurtures it, supporting the communities that sustain it, and evolving the craft to meet contemporary needs without erasing its soul. Protecting cotton through drought resistant farming, safeguarding the algae trees, and ensuring strong community support for weavers is just as important as weaving new designs. Ma'am, next slide, please.
This journey would not have been possible without the generous support of the people who guided us. We are very thankful to Mr. Pabitra Uncle who accompanied us to the farms and to the farmers, Mr. Nirmal Nayak and Mr. Shiv Prasad Jena for sharing their struggles and hopes so openly.
We are equally grateful to Mr. Narendra Tanti, who patiently explained to us the intricacies of cord part weaving. We also extend our sincere thanks to our teachers, Principal Polly ma'am, Asha ma'am, Santoshi ma'am, Sanjita ma'am, Alok sir, and Ananya ma'am for constantly guiding and encouraging us throughout this project. When we started, climate change felt like something distant, about melting glaciers or rising sea levels. But this project reframed it. Climate change is not just a planetary crisis, it's a local reality. It's about the parval on our plates, the kotpar saris in our wardrobe, and the people whose lives depend on them. Calling climate change a new normal isn't just complacent, it's dangerous. What are we really normalizing? Crumbling infrastructure, policy inertia, or collective denial? Climate change is the global group project where half of us have already forgotten the deadline, a quarter are still arguing over who is responsible, and the rest are busy printing glossy posters about how much they care, on recycled paper, of course. Why plant trees when you can plant denial? It's low maintenance and grows fast on ecos. Who needs seasons when you can have surprise weather all it every day? Maybe if we all ignore it together, the glaciers will stop melting out of sheer confusion. The toll of climate change isn't a distant spectrum, it's unfolding now. And while conversations are essential, action is imperative. The planet doesn't need superheroes, it needs billions of slightly more responsible humans.
And so the final message we carry is if we do not act today, tomorrow's generation may never know the simple sweetness of parval or the timeless beauty of a kotpet sari. Climate change is already here. Now the question is, what will we do about it? Thank you.
Thank you so much. You explained it so well, and I request you again to answer the questions they have asked in the chat before you leave. So stay there with us until you answer all the questions they have been asking. Okay? Thank you.
Yes.
So next, we are inviting the team Maharashtra from Pune. Are you able to share your slide, or I should do that?
Yes, ma'am, we'll share it ourselves.
Okay, please do that.
I just sent you a request. Yeah. Is the screen visible? Okay. Namaste, I'm Yuvraj Kavrani, and along with my friend Aryan Godani, we'll be representing Pune, Maharashtra from the Kalyani School. Last year, we participated in the Students' Climate Action Conference. Although we didn't come first, we came fourth. But this competition is not about winning, it's about making a change. Today, we're here in front of you as panelists. We'll be telling you what we did, how we did it, and what you guys should do for your presentations.
So let's talk about the problems that we chose. We chose the poor air quality in Pune and the agrarian crisis in Maharashtra. We chose these because they directly impact the community and livelihoods of the people in the community. And we were able to represent both rural and urban challenges through these. So the problem I worked on was air quality. And this problem resonates with me personally because I've been living in Pune for the past decade. And gradually I've seen, I've started to face respiratory problems as well, which is one of the reasons why we chose this. So how do we approach this problem for our conference? I interviewed a neighbor whose family was also directly affected by this pollution, and I asked them to share their experiences, like the traffic and health problems, and we also asked what solutions they would like to implement and participate in as a community. So, living near the workplace, for example, planting trees, using public transport, these were all suggested by him. And looking in hindsight, I realized that include as well as a neighbor, we should have also interviewed an air quality engineer who would have a more expert insight to this. So in the end, we proposed a solution of increasing the bamboo plantation in urban areas to solve this problem.
So I picked the problem of the agrarian crisis in Maharashtra. It's important you guys also pick a topic which is niche like this and specify it to your state or city. Since in Maharashtra, more than 52% of people are in the agriculture or primary sector, this fully resonates with our state. So this is not a new problem in any way, but has increased much more as we rise into the 21st century. And farmers who think that by putting pesticides and fertilizers, they're improving their soil, in reality are just degrading it, and they're losing crops, and they're unaware of this happening. As a result, they go into debt to buy more fertilizers, which is doing the opposite effect of what they intend. And this resulted in more than 4,000 farmer suicides just last year. So how do we as students tackle such a huge problem? First, I interviewed a gardener. We called him to our house, and then I had a questionnaire prepared for him. And I was pleasantly surprised by how much he actually knew on the topic. You wouldn't think that a gardener who just gardens in a society would know so much, but in reality, he had more knowledge than even I knew on this subject, and that is to come with someone expert in the field. He shared his struggles with costs and yields. The yields kept decreasing according to him, while the costs kept increasing, which is honestly a very bad state for the gardener to be in. Then he also reflected on his financial vulnerability. He was fully an independent gardener and did not work under anyone. So his pay was very erratic, and it was important for him to continuously keep working, even more than an average person would work for a regular daily job. So here are solutions. We both came together. So first, farmer education on sustainable practices is very important. Like I said, farmers keep using pesticides and fertilizers because they think it's a good thing for the soil. But in reality, it degrades the soil the more you use it, and this is something they need to know about. Instead, they should use more biodegradable and eco-friendly alternatives like manure. Next, we should also do awareness campaigns and support funds. This is not only to make the farmers aware, but also to us people. This is a very rural problem, and it's important that in the urban areas, we also know about such issues that people around our state are facing. And we also have to obviously shut down the harmful chemical production and the false advertisement of it improving the soil. So here are the key learnings we got from this together. First of all, it's very important that you guys do an interview because they give real stories and practical solutions. This shows where the problem is in the real world, so we get a better idea. Also, we get better results while combining direct experience with expert views. We interview people who had knowledge on the topic and were impacted or had to suffer due to this problem, specifically so we could get a good eagle's eye view on this entire problem. And air quality and agriculture, two essential things of life today, will help us show how climate change and global warming are affecting us. All in all, throughout this process, it was great, and we built our research and interviewing skills. We also built teamwork and presentation like you're seeing right now. We also learned many filmmaking skills and how to record videos and how to put together videos even through editing softwares.
So what can the new students of this year's conference do? First of all, of course, you should choose relevant local problems that are specific to your state or region. And you should interview people that are directly affected by these, along with certain experts. As I said, in air quality, you can ask your neighbors along with an air quality engineer. During your interview, you need to ask questions that will highlight the effect that this problem has on their life and also what solutions they suggest a community should partake in. And definitely, you have to present both data and stories so that you can make your impact stronger.
All right, so I think now is a great opportunity. I just want to talk about something little called the bystander effect. And the bystander effect is something that we see most prevalently here in climate change. It basically says that the more the amount of people, the less chance of someone doing some work. So this is exactly what we're seeing right now. We think that someone else will be able to solve our problems. And since the entire world is suffering from this, why not someone else do it? But it's important we take the responsibility on our hands. So thank you so much. I would like to begin by thanking Rekha ma'am for giving us this platform and this conference to present our views and also make the students aware we are the future of the generation. So it's important we are the ones who bring the change. I'd also like to thank Neha Agarwal ma'am, who guided us and mentored us throughout this entire process and also kept us right on track. Also thank to Mr. Kapil and Ramesh ji for allowing us to interview them and also giving their views on this topic. I would like to end by a quote by Barack Obama, the ex-president of America. We are the first generation to feel the effect of climate change, and we're the last to be able to do something about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Yuvraj and Aaron. I think that was very nice. And please answer the questions which they have asked in the chat before you
Sure.
leave. And yeah, thank you so
Sure,
much.
ma'am.
So next I have to invite, please do that. Don't go away without answering the questions they have asked you. They are really eager and nervous what they would be doing. So keep answering some questions which they have asked. Okay, next team and the last team I'm inviting is from Chennai, Tamil Nadu. Are you able to share your presentation, or should I share with your presentation? You will be able to share?
Yeah, we'll share.
Okay, just let me allow you. Okay. I think now you can try.
Ma'am, can you start? Ma'am?
What do I do? You are able to share it.
Yes, sir.
So go full screen.
Full screen.
Yeah. Yes, now it's okay. Good.
Good morning, everyone. Myself, Mohammad Ashfaq from Stan Academy, Valacheri, representing Tamil Nadu. We are here to share the work we did for the Students Climate Action Conference 2024. Our main aim was to engage with our community, understand local climate changes, and develop practical solutions together. We focus on two major problems: increased heat waves, flooding, and sea level rise. Problem one, increased heat waves. We found that our community, especially in Chennai, is badly affected by heat waves during April to June. Data from the Center for Science and Environment shows a big rise in days when the heat index crosses 41 degrees Celsius. Average temperatures have increased and humidity has gone up by 5%, making heat stress worse. This affects everyone: elderly people, farmers, and outdoor workers. Farmers lose crops due to drought, and workers suffer heat-related illness like heat stroke and dehydration. Community insights. Older adults share that heat waves are becoming unbearable, leading to high water prices and more diseases. Farmers spoke about drought, reduced crop yields, and problems if rainwater isn't drained properly. Community workers said that waste gets mixed with rainwater, blocking drains and worsening flooding during the rainy season. Actions suggested: for heat waves, ensure access to cool environments and hydration. Use urban planning to create shaded areas and green spaces. Implement drip irrigation to save water. Store rainwater for dry seasons. Grow drought-resistant crops. Schedule outdoor work for cooler parts of the day.
Myself, Arun Prakash. The next problem we tackled was flooding and sea level rise. Coastal places like Chennai, Puducherry, and parts of Kerala face flooding every monsoon. Climate change, rapid urbanization, and industrialization have increased greenhouse gas emissions, worsening the problem. The 2024 floods in Wayanad were a tragic example. Heavy rains caused landslide, destruction, and loss of lives. In Chennai, Cyclone Michong in December 2023 caused massive flooding, roadblocks, and power cuts. Officials from the MSS NGO Trust confirmed that major causes and emissions from vehicles, industries, and deforestation. We have also learned that protecting nature requires collective action from everyone: governments, businesses, and citizens. Action suggested. We suggest adopting sustainable development practices, improving early warning systems and infrastructure to withstand extreme weather, promoting sustainable agriculture, increasing renewable energy use, improving public transport, and enforcing environmental regulations. We ran a seed ball campaign and sustainable environment campaign in our school to promote tree planting and carbon reduction. We also shared personal tips like using reflective roofs, staying hydrated, and wearing light colored clothes. The community workers said that during the rainy season, it becomes challenging as rainwater often gets mixed with flooding rainwater. Waste, such as polythene covers, can block drainage and cause further flooding. The farmer we interviewed said prolonged drought conditions in the fields require extensive well water supply. If that also fails, crop yields will be drastically reduced, leading to significant loss. Our message is simple. Climate action starts with awareness, grows with participation, and succeeds with collective effort. Through this project, we realized that climate change impacts are already here, affecting our daily lives, health, and livelihoods. But we also learned that solutions are possible when communities work together. Good luck to next year's panelists. Thank you.
Thank you so much, both of you. Now there are some questions which I think they are asking. You should answer in the chat. There are so many questions in the QA as well. So you can answer some queries which the students are asking before you leave this. Okay. And all those who are there, students, don't worry. We will give you step by step. You have to make video, but not now. Right now, you have to just select two problems. For that, only you have to write down, I will be working on these two problems. For that, I have a questionnaire, 4 questions only, where you have to just write down. No video, nothing you have to make right now. Those question answers you have to submit me by 29th. I was saying 27th, but I think I discovered there is a Ganesh Chaturthi and we have the holidays, schools are closed. So by 29th, before we start on 30th, the next session, the same time at 11 a.m. is there. Before that, only 4 question answers. You have to fill it and send it to me. Okay. So don't worry, I'll be guiding you. So on the behalf of entire team of Students Climate Action Conference, I would like to extend our deepest gratitude to all the teams for taking time to contribute to the success of this event and sharing their insights. Thanks to the teams, those who have come forward and today and they have explained you everything, how they did and what they did. We also truly appreciate their commitment in fostering a better future by supporting the next team of climate leaders, which are there. 173 I can see now. Your insight and feedbacks are invaluable in helping our students to grow and refine ideas. Thank you everyone for your time and involvement. Made lasting impact on this conference, and the students, those who are participating and those who are going to participate in this competition. So see you all on for our next session on 30th August at the same time. I'm sending the reporting in all the groups via mail also to everyone to fill and send it back by 29th of August. You don't have to make any videos till 30th. 30th, we have a video session where my team will be explaining you how and what kind of a video you have to make. Okay. So it is your first task which has to be started. So all the best, team. And I think we will see you next. We are not in the say. Those who are not in the groups, they will get mail. Okay. So you look for a mail, ask your principal or the coordinating teacher, have they got mail or not? So next time, till we meet on 30th at 11, I will send you the link again and do join in. Okay. Bye-bye, everyone. And thank you so much for joining in today and making it a success. Okay. You can join the groups. All the students can also join the groups. Tell your teacher to add. Teachers can add the students to the group. Okay. All right. See you on 30th.